AI is replacing workers. That's what the headlines say. But here's the question almost no one is asking. Is AI actually causing these layoffs? Or is AI becoming the excuse for decisions companies were already planning to make? Because when you look closer at the data and at what business analysts are reporting, a different pattern starts to emerge. And if you're early in your career, that distinction matters more than you think. I'm Imani, your AI career coach. I help you rise above the noise, stand out above the rest, and thrive in the AI era. In this AI job report series, we track the layoffs, hiring shifts, and workforce trends shaping your career every week, so you're never reacting late. Today, we're unpacking something called AI washing. And no, that's not a tech buzzword. It's a term analysts are using to describe companies that publicly blame AI for layoffs, even when AI wasn't the primary reason for the cuts. Let's slow this down. Over the past 2 years, we've seen wave after wave of corporate layoffs across tech, finance, media, consulting, and retail. In earnings calls and press releases, executives often reference AI efficiency, automation strategy, or AI transformation as part of their justification. But when business journalists and labor economists dig deeper into the financials, they frequently find something else driving those decisions. Overhiring during the pandemic, revenue slowdowns, investor pressure to improve margins, rising interest rates are increasing capital costs, shareholder demands for profitability over growth. Those factors existed before generative AI exploded into public awareness. So why attach layoffs to AI? Because it reframes the narrative. If a company says, we miscalculated growth and overexpanded, that signals poor management judgment. If they say, AI is allowing us to operate more efficiently, that signals innovation. One sounds reactive, the other sounds strategic. And investors reward the second framing. This is where you, as a young professional, need to become media literate about workforce news. Not cynical, not dismissive, just analytical. When a headline reads, Company X cuts 5,000 jobs due to AI, ask, was AI truly replacing those roles? Or was AI layered into a broader cost-cutting strategy? Because here's what experts have observed. In many cases, the roles eliminated were already vulnerable due to restructuring plans that began months earlier. AI becomes part of the story, but not the whole story. And sometimes, not even the primary driver. Let's talk about incentives. Public companies operate under quarterly earnings pressure. If revenue slows, executives must demonstrate action. Cost reduction is the fastest lever they can pull. Layoffs improve margins quickly, at least on paper. Now add AI into that environment. AI promises productivity gains, automation potential. Lean teams are producing more output. So when leadership announces cuts alongside AI adoption, it signals to investors, we are modernizing. We are future-focused. We are ahead of the curve. Stock prices often respond positively to that messaging, even if the AI tools themselves are still in pilot phases. That's the nuance missing from social media panic threads. AI is absolutely changing workflows. But in many high-profile layoffs, AI was part of the strategic narrative, not the sole operational cause. And that distinction matters for how you interpret your own risk. Because if layoffs are primarily about macroeconomic cycles, that's different from permanent automation elimination. Economic cycles recover. Technology shifts restructure. Two very different trajectories. Now, let's be clear. There are roles genuinely being reduced because AI tools can handle large portions of repetitive digital work. Customer service chat systems, basic content drafting, routine coding assistance, data processing. That's real. But when entire departments are cut and labeled AI-driven, you have to look deeper. Was revenue declining? Was leadership under investor pressure? Was the company restructuring toward profitability after aggressive expansion? Often, the answer is yes. And AI becomes the headline because it sounds inevitable. If layoffs are framed as unavoidable technological progress, employees feel less able to challenge the decision. It shifts the blame from leadership strategy to technological destiny. That's powerful messaging. Now, here's where this becomes relevant to your career strategy. If you believe AI is single-handedly eliminating jobs overnight, you may respond with fear. You may freeze. You may assume instability everywhere. You may hesitate to enter certain fields entirely. But if you understand that some companies are using AI language to justify broader restructuring, your response becomes more measured. You start asking smarter questions in interviews. How is your company integrating AI into workflows? Are AI tools replacing tasks or augmenting teams? What training is provided for employees adapting to new systems? You shift from panic to positioning. Let's also talk about another layer: corporate signaling. Right now, AI adoption signals competitiveness. Boards want to see AI strategies. Investors want to hear AI roadmaps. Media rewards AI forward narratives. So even modest automation initiatives can be amplified publicly. A pilot project becomes AI transformation. Workflow software becomes AI integration. Cost cutting becomes AI efficiency. That's branding. And as a professional entering the workforce, understanding corporate branding is part of career literacy. Because companies brand themselves externally and internally. Sometimes the internal reality is slower, more experimental, and less dramatic than headlines suggest. Now let's flip the lens. If AI is not always the root cause of layoffs, does that mean AI risk is overblown? No. It means risk is more complex. Automation risk interacts with economic cycles, leadership decisions, capital markets, and competitive pressure. AI is one variable, not the entire equation. And that complexity is actually empowering, because complexity means room for strategy. If layoffs were purely technological and inevitable, adaptation would be limited. But when restructuring is influenced by profitability goals and efficiency drives, professionals who increase measurable value become harder to cut. That's where your focus should be. Instead of asking, is AI replacing everyone? Ask, how do I become part of the group companies retain when they optimize? Because every restructuring leaves some professionals untouched. Why? Revenue impact, strategic oversight, client relationships, cross-functional leadership. Those elements are harder to automate and harder to eliminate. If AI is being used rhetorically in layoff announcements, the safest position is not avoidance of AI, it's competence with AI. When companies signal AI transformation, they still need humans who understand those tools. Implementation managers, workflow designers, data auditors, ethics reviewers, strategic interpreters. Even in companies reducing headcount, these hybrid roles often expand. That's the part rarely emphasized in alarmist narratives. The workforce is being reshaped unevenly. Some tasks shrink, other capabilities grow. Now I want you to reflect on something practical. If your company announced AI-driven restructuring tomorrow, would you understand what that actually means operationally? Would you know which workflows are being automated? Which tools are being piloted? Which departments are experimenting versus scaling? Information reduces fear, and professionals who understand the mechanics of change often navigate it better. So here's your strategy this week. Start tracking how AI is discussed in earnings calls and corporate updates in your industry. Notice patterns. Notice language. Notice when AI is paired with margin improvement goals. That awareness sharpens your career radar, because we're not here to accept headlines at face value. We're here to decode them. AI is powerful. Automation is real. Work is changing. But not every layoff labeled AI-driven is purely technological displacement. Sometimes it's cost discipline wrapped in innovation language. And understanding that nuance gives you leverage. You don't panic. You prepare, you position. So I want to hear from you. When you see companies blaming AI for layoffs, do you believe it reflects real automation or strategic messaging? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's analyze it together. If this helped you think more critically about workforce news, hit the like button, as it suggests that more young professionals can see it. Subscribe for weekly AI job reports, where we separate signal from noise. Because you and I are not here to be alarmed. We're here to be informed. Informed professionals always move differently.